Why did the action 27 minutes ago leave the army speechless? Is this a sign of a rift or an unexpected declaration? Discover Jimin's surprising answer that went viral instantly. Is this explanation satisfactory enough? The spotlight of cyberspace instantly fell on Jungkook when his short video circulated on fandom accounts 27 minutes ago. Without a word, he walked onto a small stage at an online fan meeting and did something he had never imagined. The entire army held its breath. Comment after comment poured in, wondering, what does this action mean? And does this have to do with the latest rumors about the group? Since the beginning of that virtual episode began, the atmosphere has been filled with question marks. Jungkook, who is usually cheerful and full of smiles, suddenly looked at the camera with wistful eyes. Then, he placed a card on the microphone table without a word. The card featured unraveled red thread, a symbol fans have long associated with the unspoken promise between two people. What clues does he really want to give? In less than a minute, Jimn appeared on the side screen, looking incredibly surprised to see the card. His face turned pale, as if struck by a harsh reality that had been hidden. The next few seconds of eerie silence were filled by unforgettable moments. Jimn lowered his head, took a deep breath, and finally spoke in a trembling voice. You. Why should you now? The sentence immediately sparked a wave of speculation. What does Jimn mean? Is it true that the red thread card hints at parting? Or maybe a confession that has been covered up? Fans are divided. Some believe this is just a promo gimmick, but not a few feel there is a dark truth behind Jungkook's mysterious gesture. The tense footage went viral after an army officer quickly captured Jimin's reaction. The hollow gaze, furrowed eyebrows, and long pauses that followed her whisper seemed to lead millions of fans into a real drama in progress. Every second is replayed many times, looking for hidden clues. Is there a hidden code behind the color of the card? Or maybe the meaning is implied in the placement of the red thread itself. On social media, the hashtag JKjam immediately became trending, overtaking other topics. Netizens are scrambling for theories. Some say this is a signal that Jungkook will start a solo career with the concept of tragic love, while others believe that this is a code for Jimin to make big decisions in their brotherly relationship. Meanwhile, several anonymous insiders from HYBs agency claimed they were confused by Jungkook's spontaneous actions. He actually did this without telling anyone, one source said. We only found out after the video went viral. If true, what were the internal indicators that triggered Jungkook to perform this red thread action? As the day rolled on, Jimin's reaction continued. In the next live, Jimn tried to explain the meaning of his words, but his face still implied deep uneasiness. Sometimes an unspoken promise hurts more than a blatant betrayal, she said, holding back tears. Does this portend parting? Or is it just the beginning of a new chapter of their friendship? Those questions are now burning in the minds of the army. Is the red thread card a symbol of the end of their story? Why did Jungkook choose such a sudden time and place? Can the joys and sorrows of their friendship be translated in one simple symbol? The news spread like wildfire in a dry field. Rumors about the red thread sparked old memories. When Jungkook and Jimin once tied a simple promise backstage at their global concert last year. At that moment, they were both whispering about dreams and fears. There were no witnesses other than the dim spotlights. Now, the card reappears, as if charging for a promise once uttered between their awkward laughs. In a short Q&A session after the main video, a host dared to ask Jungkook directly, "What does that red thread mean to you?" Jungkook stared at the microphone, his lips quivering, then took a deep breath before saying, "That thread is a promise. Promise to stay together. But promises can also hurt." The atmosphere was quiet again, as if the air was holding its breath to hear the continuation of the sentence. Meanwhile, Jimn took a breath as if swallowing a burden that was too heavy. He looked down, then at the screen with reddened eyes. "I'm afraid the promise is cracked," he said quietly, his voice barely audible. It was those dark moments that made fans wonder, cracked because of what? Solo career sacrifice? Agency pressure? Or maybe an old wound that they have never revealed? Jungkook's usually cheerful figure, like a full moon on a dark night, now looks fragile. Not a few ARMY who felt devastated, missed Jungkook and Jimin, who used to always be able to laugh together. But on the other hand, they praised Jungkook's courage to reveal his vulnerability in front of millions of eyes. "This is more real than anything," one fan commented on Twitter. In the virtual backstage, the production staff was still busy calming the moderators and crew, who could hardly believe what had just happened. An assistant producer said quietly, "We prepared a light session, but it turned out to be the most emotional moment in BTS's online fan meeting history." As the night wore on, more reaction videos emerged, from celebs who shed tears when they heard Jimin say, "Promises can hurt," to video editors who put in slow motion the moment Jungkook put down the red thread card. In fact, caustic memes about the broken red thread were scattered, adding to the lively discussion. In the midst of the excitement, fans exchanged memories. In the past, after a concert in Seoul, Jungkook once whispered that the meaning of their common thread was to take care of each other until the end. Today, many pray that the promise will not end in vain. One soldier wrote, "Don't let that red thread break. You have millions of hearts behind you." However, the biggest question remains hanging. After this dramatic moment, what are the next steps? Will Jungkook go into more detail in his personal vlog? Will Jimin hold an official confirmation? Or will HYB release a public statement that calms the army's nerves? While the world awaits answers, one thing is clear. 27 minutes ago, Jungkook marked a new chapter in their friendship. A scene that is now rewritten by millions of fingers in the comments, by billions of seconds of replayed video, by the unflagging flame of notifications. It is time we all asked ourselves, what does a promise mean when it is spoken on a public stage? With millions of eyes watching, is the red thread capable of reknitting hope in the midst of a storm of doubt? Stay with us to watch the story unfold. Post your theories in the comments, share your feelings, and keep your notifications alive. Because in the story of Jungkook and Jimin, every second is a new chapter that should not be missed. The pseudo-calm that was created after the red thread scene was soon replaced by a frenzy of speculation. Since the 1-minute video exploded onto the timeline, fans have been divided, some looking down, feeling deep empathy for Jungkook, who seems so open about his inner wounds, while a few sneered, accusing him of being a promotional ploy to boost viewership and engagement. On fandom forums, the discussion turned into a heated debate. Was the gesture really sincere, or was it a cinematic scene that the management team had already thoroughly prepared? In the shadow of that doubt, Jimin reappeared on the live chat, this time with a more steady tone. He interrupted one by one hoax comments claiming the card was merely advertising property and confirmed that he and Jungkook had not been briefed before. "This is not a script," Jimin insisted in a heavy voice. "If only you knew how fragile we are behind the scenes." However, his sentence stalled, as if afraid to open old wounds. Once again, silence forced the audience to swallow Tanya. Meanwhile, HYB's agency sends a public relations team to quell the uproar. A brief statement was released through the official account, without mentioning red thread or the word promotion, which essentially stated that Jungkook and Jimin had the right to express themselves in any format. "We support every artistic decision of BTS members," the paragraph reads. But the formal tone of the letter actually adds to the mystery. Why didn't HYB confirm that this is part of a planned production? Is there any other mental stress Jungkook is experiencing? Thursday night, a celebrity psychologist uploaded a short video on Instagram, reviewing the potential symbolic meaning of the red thread. According to him, in Asian cultures, the red thread is often interpreted as fate, an invisible but very strong emotional bond. When the thread breaks or unravels, it represents a crisis of trust or a breakup, he said. The post was immediately flooded with comments. "Is this a signal that BTS is going on hiatus?" asked a netizen. "Or even a farewell to the entertainment world?" Join the others. On Twitter, more than 50,000 tweets use the red thread hashtag JKjam every minute. The content creators competed to make a 10-minute video theory about the possibility of Jungkook and Jimin's friendship experiencing tension. One of the channels with millions of subscribers uploads analysis every second, from the position of Jungkook's hand when removing the card to the clear expression in Jimin's eyes when he hears his whisper. The video got millions of likes, showing how thirsty the army was for an explanation. Early in the morning, several insiders who claimed to be close to management began to leak that the action was triggered by the pressure of Jungkook's solo contract. It is said that Jungkook was afraid that his busy life as a soloist would make him no longer have time for old friendships. The common thread, according to the source, is a metaphor for a promise to remain faithful to each other despite being on different career paths. However, without official confirmation, all of that is still in the realm of rumors. In Jakarta, at a BTS fan cafe, Several ARMY gathered to rewatch the tape together. They hugged each other as Jimin admitted that he was afraid of a broken promise, and cried together when Jungkook expressed honesty over his doubts. "Sometimes we forget, behind the glamour, they are ordinary people with fear," said one visitor with watery eyes. The atmosphere confirms one thing: the emotional bond between idols and fans is now tested by one simple gesture, but it has a deep meaning. As the morning broke, the shadow of a new chapter in BTS's journey became more real. Will Jungkook release a full disclosure vlog the next day? Will Jimin prepare a cover song as a form of consolation? Or maybe we will be surprised by a sudden concert entitled Red Thread as a celebration of their friendship. One thing is certain: the saga of the 27 minutes that shook the ARMY is not over. Each second ahead will add a new layer of story, and within each of those layers, our feelings will continue to be tested. Don't miss it. Let's click like, subscribe, and tap the notification bell right now. Share your thoughts in the comments. What does the red thread mean to you? And what are your hopes for Jungkook and Jimin next? We learned together that behind the shine of the stage, sometimes a fragile heart needs the strongest binding thread. Trust out. On the other hand, V and RM, who happened to be present in a separate live session, gave a brief clarification to calm the atmosphere. RM, in his trademark calm tone, said, "We are all processing this moment. Friendship is never simple, sometimes full of laughter, sometimes full of tears." While V added, "Jungkook is just expressing himself. Let's support him with love." Their remarks instantly broke the tension and injected hope that BTS's brotherly bond is still strong. Not long after that, a number of well-known K-pop writers in South Korea published opinion columns that interpreted Jungkook's red thread as a form of artistic transition. According to them, this could be a sign that Jungkook will soon release a solo single with the theme Promise or Farewell, a theme that contrasts sharply with the cheerful image he is used to. One columnist wrote, "This is not just a marketing ploy, it is a reflection of the vulnerability of an artist who is afraid of losing precious moments with his colleagues." On another channel, the popular variety show BTS Festa Behind aired footage of their rehearsal stage before this moment happened. It can be seen how Jungkook and Jimin exchanged glances while laughing lightly, a sharp contrast to the viral footage. "Maybe that's what makes the fans even more devastated," said the presenter of the show. "We see a very real friendship, then suddenly it is repeated with a questioning atmosphere." Meanwhile, international content creators are competing to upload subtitled versions in various languages: English, Spanish, Portuguese, even Arabic, all trying to interpret Jimin's every word and Jungkook's gestures. The global reaction proves one thing: the red thread has crossed national borders, becoming a universal symbol of the complexity of human emotions. On the Reddit r/bangtan forum, the discussion deepened. One user highlighted a small detail: the protective plastic of the card that was still attached to the corner of the card that Jungkook had placed. Maybe he was in a hurry and forgot to take it off, but it could also be a symbol that the promise is not yet fully ripe, she wrote. This theory immediately provoked dozens of replies, with graphics that enlarged the corners of the card to reveal the clear plastic. Not only that, fashion enthusiasts also highlighted Jungkook's outfit, a black suit with one-piece open buttons, contrasting with Jimin wearing a clean white shirt. The choice of this color is not accidental, claims one fashion blog. Black represents doubt, white represents hope. This combination confirms the inner struggle of both. On Instagram, the hashtag Threadred Challenge began to appear. The ARMY challenged each other to write their promise on a piece of paper, then put it in a public place, imitating Jungkook's gesture. Photos of the challenge have now gone viral, showing how one simple moment can inspire the solidarity of fans around the world. In the midst of all this wave, a no less disturbing question arises. What is the fate of the BTS World Concert that has been scheduled for the next few months? Will this moment of red thread be included as an element of the interactive stage? Or will it be abandoned because it is too personal? Fans waited for clarity on the part of management, while the issue of rescheduling began to circulate. Yesterday afternoon, a senior entertainment journalist called a HYB representative for an exclusive interview. Although there is no official confirmation yet, the representative promised to release a full statement explaining the background to the moment soon. "We understand the curiosity and anxiety of the ARMY," he said briefly. "Please wait a little longer, the truth will be revealed. Now, all eyes are on the next few hours." Will Jungkook appear in the unfiltered V-Live session to give a live explanation? Or is Jimin, who looks so emotional, going to upload an IG story with song lyrics that allude to the meaning of promises? Perhaps they will release a musical teaser that hints at the continuation of this story, a song called Red Thread that will touch the heart. One thing is certain, this moment has created an unexpected new chapter in BTS's journey. It's not just about the music, the stage,